attention to the animals and trying to do all they can to relieve the heat and keep the animals as comfortable as possible. This is one zoo where the lions don't have the energy to roar and the monkeys prefer to sleep all day.
Scientists in the United States, working together with colleagues in China, have been studying the first dinosaur fossil to be found with a fully intact body. Scientists have identified it as being a dromaeosaur, a dinosaur thought to be the most closely related to birds. The dromaeosaur was a quick-moving dinosaur associated with the velociraptor and to the Tyrannosaurus rex. It belongs to a group of dinosaurs called theropods, who are two-legged predators with sharp teeth. The bird-like dinosaur was unearthed by farmers in a fossil bed in China recently. Dr. Mark Norell, chairman of paleontology at the American Museum of Natural History, said the fossil was the first non-avian dinosaur with full body covering to be found. He said, "For the first time we have a non-avian dinosaur and we know what its complete body covering looked like. It was a body covering that was really fluffy, and it looked like a dust mop with big sprays of feathers coming off the entire thing." Norell said the dinosaur probably had very bird-like behaviour. He described it as being highly agile, highly active, probably highly intelligent. The dromaeosaur find is the highlight of Norell's career. He was very happy to see it and thinks it is the most exciting thing that has ever happened in his career as a paleontologist. One of the wonderful things about being a scientist is getting to discover totally awesome things like this.
Here in Colombia, hidden well under the ground, is an unbelievable sight. It's a chapel made entirely from salt. The inspiration to build this amazing building came from miners, whose ancestors sculptured an altar to pray for protection under a mountain first exploited by Indians in the 15th century. The cathedral has been chiselled in caverns 750 metres inside the Zipaquirá mountain, 50 kilometres north of Bogota. A slow, spiralling tunnel, large enough to drive a truck through, winds down past 14 stations of the cross, sculptured simply and powerfully in chambers depicting Christ's crucifixion. Completed in 1995 at a cost of $8 million, the Catholic Cathedral, which hosts occasional weddings and baptisms, draws 200 visitors a year, making it one of the most successful tourist destinations in South America. More than a religious place, it's also a tourist attraction. I suppose many people come here from all over. It's a very beautiful place. The architecture had a great impact on me and the handiwork that has been done here, said one tourist recently visiting the cathedral. At the end of the tunnel there's a chorale gallery. Imagine the acoustics you would get from singing here. The salt inside the Zipaquirá mountain is white when moist with trickling water, but mostly it's grey-black and feels like typical stone. It can be fashioned into vast rooms, sculptures or strong, sturdy pews. Directed by local architect Jose Maria Gonzalez, more than 100 sculptors and miners laboured for 4 years inside the salt mine, blasting chambers, chiselling rock and smoothing the crystallised salt into a majestic and peaceful place of worship. David Rincon, a miner who has worked in the deposit for more than 20 years, first extracting salt and now maintaining the church, said the designers created a sense of peace. He thinks it should be listed as the 8th wonder of the world. The town of Zipaquara, who has a population of about 120,000, earns about $1 million a year from the underground cathedral. It costs $5 to get an entry ticket, but the experience is well worth the visit.
Here at the Moscow Zoo, these giant walruses are about to meet their very first dentist. Even carefree wallowing walruses have to go to the dentist. And the walruses at the Moscow Zoo have a special reason for the dentist's visit. With not a care in the world, the deep-sea divers entertain the crowd, while the team from England embarked on a medical masterpiece. The walrus's family name comes from the ancient Greek word meaning one who walks with his teeth. Very appropriate really, when these guys need a special dental visit to keep them in tip-top condition. The walrus's tusk is like a modified canine tooth that grow from the upper jaw throughout the walrus's life. 1/5 of its length is hidden in the jaw. The longest tusk ever recorded was 94 centimetres long and 27 centimetres in diameter and weighed over 5 kilograms. That's one long tooth. In its natural habitat of the Arctic seas, the walrus uses its tusk to get a grip on the ice when climbing out. In a concrete pool, though, the tusks were getting broken. The keepers fear that the walrus's tusks could become seriously infected and may even threaten their lives. The team of British dentists have volunteered their expertise to surgically remove the walrus tusks, a painful operation, but one that could save their lives. It was time for the big operation. It looks as if they're clambering to get in the door. They're either in a great deal of pain or they just don't know what they're in for. The team, headed by Peter Kertész, specialises in fang and claw patients. But even this operation is unique for them. They had to study the particulars of the walrus's anatomical structure, invent new instruments, and think up new methods for removing a tusk. They also had to work out a way to safely inject anaesthesia into their patients, who could weigh up to 1.5 tonnes, which is more than a small family car. The dental team was unable to keep their first walrus stable under the anaesthetic and decided to treat him at another time. The second walrus, however, was able to take the anaesthetic safely, and the team proceeded with the operation. Zoo spokesperson Tatiana Arsenova said the operation would be difficult at all times of the surgery and that every moment is a risk. Arsenova, however, described the operation as perfect, and she said she was confident that all of her blubbery patients would pull through safely. 10 walruses will go under the dentist's knife during the operations, which are expected to last a week. In the end, though, chewing fish will take on a whole new sensation. Science, working with animals to create a better, painless lifestyle.
These beautiful, graceful sea turtles are at a great risk of being eaten, not only by other sea animals, but by humans. So an international coalition of sea turtle conservationists, known as Group 100, has been set up. They say that sea turtles, which are native to the Gulf area, run the risk of extinction due to predatory fishing. The group placed the alert recently because it's traditionally the peak time of year for sea turtles to be eaten in the region. But Group 100 President Homoreus Ardridis said tourism also posed a challenge to the turtles. One of the factors leading to the decline of the sea turtle in Mexico is the increased population on the coast. The group has asked for protection and enforcement of environmental laws, which would designate the Baja area as feeding reserve for the sea turtles. They also said the situation in the Californias has a huge impact on 5 species of endangered sea turtles and threatens the sea turtle population as far away as Hawaii and Japan.